Broadcasting from London, Ontario, Canada. Welcome. I'm Kevin Bulmer. This is Journeys with the No Schedule Man. We are celebrating and sharing the significance of our true selves and stories. And it's great to have you here today. I've got somebody to share with you that has a story, a true life story, an adventure of a life that should be made into a movie. In fact, if I can get No Schedule Man Productions or some similar such company up and running soon enough, I will do it. I will make Rakesh Mishra's life into a movie. Or, well, I won't make his life into it. He's already done that. But I think it needs to be documented and shared. He told a good part of his story in episode, I think it was episode 68 of this podcast. If you look back in the archives at noschedulemanpodcast.com, you'll find it. That was back when we were offering this podcast as an audio-only presentation. But Rakesh joined me for that and told me the story of growing up in a village in India with no electricity, no automobiles, no televisions, and just how much of a journey it has been for him to continue to grow and stretch to get himself to America and then to here in Canada where he is now, and just continue to have new experience after new experience after new experience and stretch himself to the point of earning millions here in Canada so that he could retire financially at the age of 45 and devote the rest of his life to doing what he is most passionate about doing. And that's where we're going to jump off this conversation in a few moments from now, and how that can relate to you and how you can stretch yourself and make your dreams come true as well. And why I'm speaking to Rakesh now, today, or will be in just a few moments, is because he and I are going to be joining forces again, that he's coming back here to where I am in London, Ontario, Canada, for a very special event, Mo Mondays London, which is the event series that I produce and host, combining with another great event series, Awesomepreneurs, where we're doing a kind of a mashup event to support our community, and a great initiative called Business Cares Food Drive here in London, Ontario. So you are going to meet this guy, Rakesh Mishra, Coach Rakesh, in just a couple of moments. And I know that you're really, really, really going to enjoy that. Before we get to that, a couple of things that I wanted to make sure that I share with you. First of all, the No Schedule Man's Mindset and Marketing Mastermind community is now open to new members. It's also referred to as the Turtle Tribe. It's an online community that was started just a little bit more than 2 years ago from the time of this recording. It's a really terrific way to have an affordable access to a coach, being yours truly, to help you with marketing, messaging, and brand strategy, as well as personal growth. You get live and on-demand training, complete access to the whole archive of content. There's really nothing else that I've seen that's quite like it, but you can have a look for yourself and see how you feel. The No Schedule Mindset and Getting Mastermind community, you can find out more about that at noscheduleman.com/mastermind. Thanks also to the businesses who have been such a great support to this podcast and continue to be, including Connect One Consulting. If you're looking to expand your professional network, connect with more people, grow your relationships, to grow your business and yourself, I highly encourage you to reach out to Gord Fancher at Connect One Consulting.com. The holidays are here or coming up, depending on how you look at that at the time of this recording and conversation. At the least, it's the 13th of December, 2019, as Rakesh and I are about to embark upon this adventure. And what a great place to look for something for someone that you love. Diamond and Gold Treasures. You can find out more about them at diamondsgold.com. And I highly encourage you to look into what Laura Ma, the owner and operator of Diamonds and Gold Treasures, is doing on her social media page. Is a great example to the rest of us as well. Diamond and Gold Treasures, a supporter of Journeys with the No Schedule Man. Thanks also to Susan Luke from Travel Agents in Action. You can find her at foreverpreciousmemories.ca. Again, while we're recording this, it's wintertime. It's the kind of time where a lot of people like Rakesh and myself who are in Canada like to get away to somewhere a little bit warmer and sunnier. Call Susan. She will help you. She will do a terrific job. She's helped me with some business travel as well, and I'm astounded at how simple and easy she makes it. Foreverpreciousmemories.ca will connect you with Susan and Luke from Travel Agents in Action. Thanks also to Provincial Glass and Mirror, Brett Lucier and his team. What a terrific company, professional full-service glass company owned and operated here in southwestern Ontario, Canada. And you can find out more about them and what they offer at provincialglass.com. Carol Trickett, this is her favorite time of the year. One of the reasons is because she was born on Christmas Eve. She told me that story in a video that we did that's available on my Facebook page, facebook.com/no schedule man. Carol and Trickett Financial offers insurance and investments for Canadians and newcomers to Canada. At one time, our guest today was a newcomer to Canada. As you can see, he has thrived, but he'll probably be able to attest. It's always good to have help and getting settled in a new place, and that's partly what Carol does. And in fact, it's a lot of what Rakesh does with his business now as well. In any case, I encourage you to reach out to Carol at trickettfinancial.com. And Mo Mondays London, the inspirational event series we host once a month, hosted by yours truly. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, that our event coming up is going to feature today's guest. You can find out more about that and all of our events at momondays.com/London. It's kind of like TEDx meets The Tonight Show. There really isn't anything else like it. I'm really, really proud of it and would love for you to share in a future event with me and those that join me, including this guy who has been to many Mo Mondays. I'm wondering if you've lost count, Rakesh. I know better than that. I know you know the count. How many Mo Mondays have you been to now and spoken at?
Kevin, I finished 16 and this is going to be the 17th one on Monday at your place next week. 17th.
And this is one, my friend, I'm so happy to see your face. I'm so excited that we are going to reconnect. I love you so much. I appreciate you so much. And it's going to be a lot of fun to reconnect for this event, and also going to be fun reconnecting now. I wanted to really share with people more of what you do and how you can help people, what you've discovered for yourself. And I think what they'll discover both at this event, but they can also reach out to you anytime at coachrakesh.com. Before we dive into some of that stuff specifically, I feel like maybe we should set just a little bit of the context for those who don't know your story. I encourage them to go back and listen to, I think it was episode 68, but they can find that and a lot of your story at noschedulemanpodcast.com. But I wonder if a place to start would be to ask you to maybe share the story of that time when the Prime Minister came to your village in India. And maybe if you can just describe what the village was like and how big a deal that was, and what maybe clicked in you at that time that has really kind of brought you to where you are now. Because it seems to me like that's a good story that mixes a little bit of the environment that you grew up in, the inspiration that really brought you forward, and a bit of a goal of what you wanted to stretch yourself to. Do you mind maybe sharing whatever comes to mind to tell that story first, please?
Wow. So first of all, Kevin, I want to mention about you little, because now for me, this is the fourth time I'm coming to London. So London is like a second home to me now. This is the third time Mo Monday, and you arranged that lovely workshop with those lovely women entrepreneurs. So that was really, I just wanted to publicly thank you for that. And I had many stories and many things, but I did not even believe on my own stories. You are the one I still remember when you invited me to that music club, and you took my 2 hours of interview, and then I started sharing those videos, and the kind of the reception I got, the kind of the response I got, that made me that, hey, Kevin was right, man. I need to share this story, and I basically knew the power of my own journey. So as you asked rightly, so let me start. I just said the Prime Minister came to the village. So I'm talking about in those late 70s, and basically I'm growing up, and I'm around 7 to 9 in that age. And when I look around that village, this village has no connection to any modern amenities, so we call. No electricity, no telephone, no television, and no automobile. If I say transportation, a bicycle and the bullock cart. Let me describe the bullock cart. This is a two wooden wheel cart pulled by bulls. That is a bullock cart. So bullock cart and a bicycle. So that was the mode of transportation in that village. And then I attended the rally where the Prime Minister of India, then our lady Mrs. Prime Minister, the Indira Gandhi, she was delivering the speech. She was supposed to come to deliver the speech 4 o'clock. and she came 10 p.m. night, and that village has no electricity. So I'm still, kind of getting goosebump. I'm holding a lantern. We call it Petromax on one side, and the village chiefs on other side, and so many other people holding the lights. And she delivered the speech. And in that pitch black night, thousands of people still gathered 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. and roaring applaud, and all those white journalists, when I say white, Caucasian white, and they're holding those flashy cameras and those long cars. Somehow that whole thing, what is this? Can I one day speak in some foreign land and where the white crowd is sitting and I'm speaking? So that was one of the dream. Help me to stretch from that village and go to city and then New Delhi and then outside of India, so far almost more than 50 countries. And every stretch gave me bigger hunger. So probably we will unfold few more on the way. So this is little like my journey from that village to Canada. Almost last 30 years, and out of 30 years, 20 years I spent in Canada. So there are many, basically, those obstacles and those signposts, and so we will cover them one by one. How you are going to basically guide me to reveal them. So yeah, so that's not pretty much as for now.
It's with what you've already shared, it's so much to imagine and absorb for somebody, I think, like myself, Rakesh, that can't know what that's like to grow up in an environment as you did. And every time I hear you tell these stories, there's a magical quality to them all. And I almost find myself wanting to ask you to retell some of the stories that I've heard many times that are so powerful. But I'm not going to, only because I know part of it is going to be in the talk that you're going to share with us.
That's right.
At the Mo Mondays and Entrepreneurs event. And it's also available in that other episode that we did earlier of the No Schedule Man podcast. But I do think, like, it's just so many steps. And even if we devoted the whole rest of the time together to covering those steps, we wouldn't cover them all. But so many steps of solving the next challenge, of stretching to the next thing, of how am I going to get, as you mentioned, to the city, and how am I going to get to the city to the next, and then how am I going to get to the Middle East, and then how do I get from there to America, and how do I learn and all of these kinds of things. I want to jump to where you had you'd figured out your way through so many of those challenges, and you found yourself here in Canada, and you had a successful life, but then you woke up on your 35th birthday and you thought, is this all there is to life? And I won't ask you to retell the Cuba story because it's been told and you'll share it again on Monday night. But I will ask you to talk about purpose, because I think it's interesting that when I look at someone like you, and forgive me for talking so much here, Rakesh, but when I look at someone like you, I think, look at the amount of challenges that you have overcome and the amount of things that you have stretched to achieve.
Yes.
Completely changed your life, the language that you speak on a day-to-day basis, the part of the world that you live in, the kind of work that you're doing. And yet you still found yourself at 35 years of age wondering what your purpose was. And I see so many other people, I think they would like to know about purpose as well. That they hear, live your passion, go live your dreams. And I think a lot of people aren't sure what that is. How do you think that people can find their purpose? What would you suggest to them?
Good. So it's quite loaded question, Kevin. Let me try. So what had happened when I landed here in 99, almost 20 years back in Canada, and soon I get into IT and got a job, got married, and had first son, and everything was moving well. And then I heard this quote from Jim Rohn that you are the average of your five best friends you spend most time with. So I realized my average was not that great. So what I did, I tried to find my a friend circle. So I used this Canada411.com and I found my a friend circle. And then as you mentioned, it was my 35th birthday, and some of those friends, they came to celebrate my birthday. And after cake cutting, food and drinks, and they left, and I could not sleep that night. Whole night I was thinking, hey, I'm already 35. I have a job, I have a car, I have a family. So I was feeling a little restless. Hey, soon I'll be 70, 80, 90, 100 if I'm lucky to be living that age and dead and gone. Is that all about life? Next morning I woke up and I asked my parents, my wife, and 2-year-old son that I want to go to Cuba alone to find the purpose of my life. And here in 2 weeks, I'm in Valadero, Cuba. So I used to get up late in the morning after last night hangover, go to ocean, take few dips, come back and lie down on those white soft towel and used to write and write. And one week I was just writing and wrote 1700 pages. So now when I started reading, I came to know those patterns. So every time I'm helping someone, I'm feeling fully alive and excited. So I decided to become a billionaire. Not the dollar wise, of course, to reach out to billion people before my last breath and help them in some way. So here I'll stop. As you ask, how I can little give me some nuggets of people who are listening to this video, how to find your purpose. Hey, you know what? I will ask you to simply ask these two questions for yourself. Because what happened? What is stopping us? All those fears, all those excuses, all those doubts, and those fear, excuses, and doubt stops us not to take that first step. Sometimes even you know what is our purpose, but that is a fear, what society is going to say, what friends are going to say, what parents are going to say, and those fears. So ask these two questions. The first one, if most of them have excuse, I have no money, I have no time. So here is the first question. Ask yourself, sit down in some quiet place. If you drink, have a couple of a drink and sit down quietly with the pad and paper and ask this question. If money and time is not an excuse or not an issue, what one thing you would like to do rest of your life, even if you're not being paid for that? Again, I will repeat. If money, time, or any those excuses are not there, or somebody comes to remove them, what one thing you'd like to do rest of your life, even if you're not being paid for that? Write down what that one thing. So when you get it, now take your pad and paper. On the top, write down that one thing and then write down why. You might get the first why. Again, further why. Keep whying and whying and whying till there is no further why. And believe me, the kind of revealing you will get, probably you will thank Kevin first because he became the medium to brought me here, and probably then you thank me. Question number 2. If you knew that you will not fail, whoever the faith or belief you have, that person, God, superpower comes to you and give you a promise and guarantee that, hey, my dear man or woman, girl or boy, try, you will not fail. It's a guarantee. So the second question is, if you knew you will not fail, what one thing you want to try right now? That's it. So the answer to the first question and keep whying at the end, and then answer to the second question. Believe me, you will get your why. If not, go to coachrakesh.com and drop me a line that, Rakesh, I need your help. And believe me, I will find your why for free. And thanks to Kevin. So here is Kevin. Little.
Well, I love that. If time and money is not an excuse, what would you do? And write down why. And if you knew that you would not fail, what would you want to try? My experience has been, Rakesh, that it's been difficult to really allow my thinking to expand when I still find myself limited by the beliefs I have about myself and what I think I can do and can't do, and how life has to work. One way that I think I might say that is that without even really being aware of it, I think at different times in my life, I've actually been afraid of success. How often do you see people that are actually maybe afraid to succeed to the point where they don't even allow themselves to dream like this?
Many time, including me, so many time. Because what happened then, we start telling the stories. When I'll become successful, I might lose my friend, or people, depend which part of the world you live. Sometimes you feel, oh, if I'm like some countries, if you have your wealth, you cannot even show your wealth. Your kids might be kidnapped, you might be murdered, you might be, create enemies. So many people are, those kind of the stories they tell to themselves, and they don't want to successful. Or if they even are successful, they don't know if they are successful, because they have no clear basically definition of success, what exactly they want. I have many clients who are coaches here. You know what I did to make them successful? I said, stop making money. These are the client I'm talking about right now. I have maybe 30 or 40 real estate properties, and they're worth multi-million. But it's still, if one tenant doesn't pay the rent, they don't sleep in the night. I said, come on. One side you have millions of dollars, and for just 1,400 or $2,000, you are feeling panic and losing your sleep, and then you have to take a pills to sleep. Come on, what you want? They don't know. They are just accumulating, and they become the caretaker of the money, and then they pass on the same mindset to next generation will also become a money a caretaker. But one generation comes, Kevin, who destroy this everything. So what was the point collecting all these, the wealth? So you should know. Yeah, so you're right. Again, coming back, sorry, one little distracted, coming back again to the track. Yes, people do a fear of successful because of the stories told to them from their parents, from their grandparents, and some of them even they written their the diaries and pass on to the next generation, that hey, all these people who make money, they are cheated, they are bad people, they suck the blood and money out of other people. Those are the stories. Think about one point, Kevin. Most of the third world countries, who help them? All these rich people, either it's a Bill Gates or many such wealthy people. They eradicate so many diseases and so many calamities happening in those world. So when you become successful, when you become money, when you become health, when you become wealth, at least you are in the best position to help others, because becoming successful gives you an option for yourself and for others. One thing I want to pinpoint here, Kevin, there are three category of people: either they're surviving, or they're successful, or they're living the significance life. Who are survival? As an immigrant, or maybe you live in Canada and you are just able to pay your grocery, and maybe some beat up car, or somehow you are just surviving. You have a shelter and the food and transportation, most of the time public transportation. It's okay. I'm not saying that the rich people, they don't use public transport. What I'm trying to say, you are just surviving. You have so many desires, but you are not able to fulfill them because you don't have means, especially the money. That is called survival. Successful, you want a big house, big car, big, good schools, and your vacation. Everybody's success definition is different, but that is a success. Significance comes, Kevin. First, though, survival and success mode, you only live for yourself or your family. Significance comes when you start, when with your product, with your service, and with your presence on this planet, when you start helping others to uplift their life, then you start living a significance. So yes, success, first off, you should know how to digest success, how to face success, how to handle success. Why you are scared? Because you are focusing about yourself or your family, not for others. Once you think about others, no matter how successful you are, you will never feel that I have done enough, because now it's a whole globe is your family. You live for their well-being. Either Nelson Mandela, either Martin Luther King, either Mother Teresa, all these people. And we all can become a Mother Teresa for our own tribe, for our own London, for our own Toronto, for our own Canada, for our own street. You need not to have billions of dollars. I meet one stranger every day last 5 years, Kevin. Sometimes I forget. And at 12 o'clock midnight, I go to Walmart and I stand in the line. Sometimes some lady, they're buying some stuff and they say, stop, because three items left. They don't have money to pay. I just get, ma'am, will you mind if I pay? Sometimes they say, thank you, my dear son. Sometimes they say, yeah, I don't mind. $2, $3. So this is called significance. Living in the significance mode doesn't require billion of dollar. It's all about mindset. So when you start living for others, all those scarcity mindset and that fear of success is all will go away one side, and you'll be blooming like a beautiful flower in your life and in your tribe. Kevin, all yours.
What is it like for you when you go back home to India? How do people respond to you when they see how much you've grown?
I'm a Tom Cruise for my village. That's what I say sometimes, because my reference point is that village. You know, it looks like I'm talking about, early 1900th century. The telephone I brought in that village, I brought that, in that village. The color television I brought. The car I brought. The brand new bike I brought. All those things I'm talking about just like around 20, 25 years back. So when I go there, they think, this guy, oh my God. Sometimes, they ask very simple question. Hey, you can speak English and people can understand you? I said, yeah. Still, so, I cannot explain. And you have seen some of my videos which I did Facebook Live when I was travel India. So yeah, it's a very different. It's a very different, Kevin. It's very different. When I go there, they have, I won't say very high regard. Certain beyond certain, they cannot even think of who am I, what I'm doing, how I'm doing. Their brain stop. They cannot even think. Many people, desire to live that life. They cannot even think that life. Forget about living it because they have never seen.
This is why I find your life so difficult to wrap my head around, Rakesh. I struggle sometimes to figure out how you even knew that there was another world out there that you aspired to be a part of and to inspire. And because so many of us, as you have described in your own way, just live day to day, hardly seeing anything beyond the end of our own noses. What is it about you that you think that makes you so relentlessly curious that you always feel like, I've heard you say, if I'm not stretching, I'm not helping. And if I'm not helping, I'm dying. And I don't want to die, not yet. So I keep stretching. That always on the edge of your comfort zone to push just a little bit more. What do you think makes you crave that discomfort, that stretch, that growing, that curiosity, that next thing? Why are you like that?
Oh, every time, Kevin, you take my interview or some kind of, you put me in very different zone. Even I cannot even, go there on my own. So you brought very interesting. As I said, these three levels for yourself, for your family, and then others. So what happened when I started, from that, village, went to city, and help up to certain level. Then when I went to the Middle East, and in the Middle East, then all those initial requirements are done. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you here, that when I reached to Middle East and able to finish, a sister wedding, to finance sister wedding and build a house and the brother's education, and now I feel free. And then again, what can I do? So one thing I always after not to stagnate, because everybody knows, Kevin, the life is too short, but people just listen from one year and they take out from other year. They don't take the literal way. I was taking the literal way. Rakesh, this energy, this younghood, this craziness, this curiosity will not continue for long. You are not here for millions of years. You are, in my definition, Kevin, only 20 years you have to live. 30 to 50. Till 30, you don't know. Your girlfriend, boyfriend, immigration, career change, this and that, you are confused. And after 50, you don't want to take any craziness. You want to grow whatever you have created so far. So 30 to 50, 20 years are the most productive and critical years, ladies and gentlemen, in your life. Come back to my life. So after Bahrain, it was Y2K. In the year 2000, date was changing and all were going to America. And the back of mind I did not cover, but there is a story in very early childhood. I learned that I have to go to America one day. So that was already running in my mind. So now this was a time in Y2K, all Indian professionals were heading to US. And one fine day I resigned and went to India, did 30 days course on mainframe, and here I landed in America. So every step I was stressing. And then from America, when I moved to Canada, now by this time I have grown so much in reference to my village, Kevin. I thought, oh my God. From that village, from that level in India, people become doctors, they become engineers, they become the businessman. But I am in very different world now. So now my this life and this journey is not only owned by me. Now my village, my country, this whole globe have right in my life. So let us start sharing this story through world. So at this stage now, I have stretched so much that it's not about the money, it's not about my family, it's not about me, Kevin, it's about the world, because very few get chance to get there. And if I'm not going to share my story, so much wealth will go untapped. Like Les Brown says, ladies and gentlemen, you have a dream, but when you go to your deathbed, all these dreams are going to surround you and are going to ask only one question. That gentleman or dear lady, only you could have given us a life. Now we have to die with you. So I did not want to die with all my learnings, which helped me to live my dreams. Now they are going to help others. But here, Kevin, I was so embarrassed to share my stories with the world. I thought, oh, if they will know my story, they are going to dislike me, hate me. But again, as they say, then when a student is ready, teacher will appear. So in 2008, Slumdog Millionaire movie released, and I watched that movie. I thought, hey, 70% I lived that life on my own, man. And that movie won 8 Oscar. I thought, you know what, Rakesh, share your story, you might win the Oscar, of course in the figurative form, but you might win the Oscar. I said, wow. So that fear is gone, fear of embarrassment is gone, fear of shameness is gone. The second problem, Kevin, I don't know how to speak English, especially in front of people from a stage. Again, I stretch and teacher did appear. While working in Ministry of Transportation, one day I saw this little pamphlet and that says, we build a leader. That was a Toastmaster. And I joined Toastmasters 7 years with them, and that gave me the voice. And then more Monday given me the professional voice, and person like you made me a coach. So that's how you ask that what was helping me to growing further, because I have stretched so much. I thought, no, very few get to reach here, and now I am here. Now, in as they say, extra mile, there is no crowd. So now there was no crowd, and 30 million Indian living outside of India. We call them non-resident Indian. They are my tribe. Of course, many others, everybody, but they are my tribes. They can relate and link with me. So I want, that is one of the wish, to basically travel 120 country and deliver at least one speech in country if possible. These kind of a crazy dream. Why is possible now? Because my that basic things are I'm not worrying about my mortgage, I'm not worrying about my children education, I'm not worrying about my food. you know Even if everything's been taken away tomorrow, so what? I can survive as long as I can speak. So that was the reason that I got so much. This world has given me so much. I realized from my inside it's time to give back. So this giving back allowed me to stretch help, reach out help, share your stories help, give podcast interview like this help. I don't know who Kevin is, but I met Kevin in many more Mondays. One of the Kevin, one thing people say, don't advise them without asking. But I met Kevin and talk, and we talk, and we got so engaged each other, and our journey started few backs, and we did many things together, and we continue doing many more. Kevin, again, now it's Your time.
There's so many things that I could ask you. Every single thing that you share with me has a magical quality to it that gives me reason to want to ask so many things. If you could pardon me just for a second, Rakesh, I'm going to see if I can reset your video feed here. I'm just going to drop you down and then I'm going to bring you back here in a moment, just because I've noticed there's a bit of a delay that we're getting between what we're saying and when it's when it's coming out. So I'm just going to see if I hope that's not too distracting for our viewers. When we've got all these different technologies that we are connecting. Yeah, I'm noticing the same thing on what I'm sharing with myself now. I don't know whether that will help it or not. But what I wanted to ask Rakesh, my experience personally, and with so many people that I come across, is that there's a fear of discomfort. If I push and I stretch like Rakesh Mishra does, then I'm going to have to figure out things I don't know. I might feel stupid or silly for a while. I might be embarrassed. I might not be smart enough. I might fail. That's uncomfortable. But wouldn't you also say that? I shouldn't say, wouldn't you also say? I'm putting words in your mouth. It seems to me that living a life of survival, just scrambling just to try to survive, and leaving all of those thoughts, not even allowing ourselves to dream about what could be, isn't that uncomfortable too? Like, aren't you living with discomfort either way? But one can feed you and then feed others and help you grow, and the other can limit you and slowly grind you down from the inside. Do you think that we just get to choose which discomfort we allow into our lives?
Kevin, beautiful question, and a lot of insight this question itself carry with it. And see, what is happening? It comes down to only this three-letter word. It's called why. If you don't have your strong why, even little obstacle will drift you away. But once you have a really strong why, no matter what comes on the way, you will figure out. And in today's day and time, everything is figure outable, Kevin. The only, as I said in my speeches, as long as your breathing is not done yet. So when you are feeling frustrated, you're feeling stuck, you are feeling it's not worth pursuing because you don't have a clear and strong why. If you had that, I will highly recommend people to read Nelson Mandela. I think Long Walk to Life, something like that, his autobiography. He has a why. So many are struggling, they don't have their clear why. The day you will find your why, you will not be distracted. And another thing is, Kevin, why people are finding this difficult and so kind of a little full of friction, that they want to start on some journey when they have all the steps figured out. Means they want to reach somewhere, they want to make $1 million a year, they want to know all the steps in advance. Life doesn't work in that way, ladies and gentlemen. If you know all the steps to reach some goal, you are playing so low. You are not playing high enough. To play high enough, you need to know only in the beginning. In other words, the three-step process to get anything in life is what you want, why you want, and how. Basically, what. It starts with the what you want, and the second thing, how you want. That is the only headache you need to carry about anything you want. But many people forget about what, and they don't even think about what and why because they're worried about how. How is not your headache, ladies and gentlemen. Once you have a clear what and a strong why, now all this law of attraction, the secret movies, and all many these leader in between came, they all come into the picture because of that. Because when you have a strong what, sorry, clear what and strong why, then your subconscious mind knows why, what you want and why you want. Then all those resources, all those teachers will made you available. I wanted to share my stories. I was so crazy, so curious. And then Slumdog Millionaire comes into my life. I wanted to speak these stories from the stage. Toastmasters comes in my life. I wanted to go next level. Mo Monday comes to my life. I wanted to go further. Steve Lovell, my coach, comes into life. Still, I was not sure. Then the Kevin Bummer comes. Rakesh, you don't know, man, what you. These are the words, Kevin, coming from you many times. You don't know, Rakesh, your worth. Sometimes I ask you, explain more. What do you mean? And you did explain. Yeah, so like that. So answer to the little long way, detoured way. The answer is find your why. You know what? You do it or you don't do it, you are going to die. Whoever is listening here, chances are there another 50, 70 years, we all are going to be dead. So you do anything with your life or you don't, you are going to be dead. So when you know, death can be one of the best motivator if you really put in perspective. Yeah, sometimes I think, oh, this guy is going to feel, this family is going to feel, society is going to feel, this country is going to feel, but you all are going to be dead. Who cares? I will highly recommend, if they have not heard this speech from Steve Jobs, he delivered in Stanford, I think in 86, sometime, and highly, highly recommend. So yeah, so that's basically answer that they are really feeling a friction, they are feeling a scare, they don't think it's worth trying hard. Why not to just live the life, the default life? Why we need to design the life? That's fine. Almost 80 to 85% people in this way. That's why it's been ages. Only 3% they own almost 90% wealth. It's not by luck or superpower. It's by design, ladies and gentlemen. Someone said, take whole wealth of the world, distribute equally among the people, 7.5 billion people, and within 5 years all that money go to their owners, the original owners. Why? Because they think in that way. Lottery winners are the best example. They win and they lose. Why? They don't have any clear why. They got it, they will spend it. So work on your why. I went to Cuba. You might want to go to Quebec. Doesn't matter. You want to go to your living room. Finding your why, you need not to go to Cuba, to ocean, to drunk. No, that was me. Because these three words, Kevin, helped me a lot in life. Still, I'm continuing, and hopefully till I die, I'll continue. Just three things. Be creative, be curious. And the third, I love it. Be crazy. Who's asking you to kill that your teenager boy or girl from the college days? Live now. Age doesn't change our thinking. We change our thinking. Why? Because we start listening all those neighbors and office and colleague and friends, and no, you can still do that craziness. Yeah, you can take your wife at the 70, go to Switzerland, have honeymoon. Who's stopping you? Having only sex 5 times a night doesn't mean the honeymoon. There are so many other things part of the honeymoon. Got it? So be crazy. That will change you. All this fear, all this stuckness, all this, all will go away. They will fall apart. Remember, I'm going a little spiritual here. You came alone to this world and you will go alone from this world. In between, as Shakespeare say, his whole life is like a movie. You're playing your part. Don't take very seriously. Your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your spouse, they all are playing their role. They will come in your life, they will go. Sometimes they die, sometimes they have diseases. That's what the human life is all about. The people you see on the Facebook, oh, shiny picture and all, that you see only the external. You don't know the internal. Most of the time they show that external very happy because internal is totally shaken. Ladies and gentlemen, as a coach, met hundreds of couple and gone through all those stories. You don't need money, only what you need to breathe. Yeah, like in India and other third world countries, people die with hunger. In North America, people die with excess food. Yeah, so it's all here, Kevin.
With all that in mind, for people as they're looking to try to find their why and drive themselves forward and live a significance life, when they're asking themselves, should I be an employee or an entrepreneur and why? What would you say to them?
Well, if you want to live default life, you born, you started crawling, going to SK and then JK and then the school and then you graduated, then you went to the job, got married and had kids and children, higher education, and then you became grandparents, and one day you are dead. That is a default life. If you want to live that life, job is fine, but the job definition also been changed. And 50 years back, people join, for instance, government job and they will retire. Even the government job have no security today. So this employee, there is a time and an option, but this artificial intelligence, virtual reality, robotics, and technological advancements, just wait another 10, 15 years or 20 years max, an employee will go away. Everybody's forced to become an entrepreneur. When I say entrepreneur, that control, you basically create your own product and services and control your own earnings. So by all means, if you are even employee still, I will highly recommend to become entrepreneur in the side. Why? I don't want to reveal here, you can google it, that people who retire from full-time job working 65 and then they retire, and they say on an average they go around 10 to 15 years and they die. Why? Because many of them, they have not developed any other skill in the parallel, and when they retire they found suddenly one day, whole day, nothing to do, and life becomes so depressing and so unwanted, no why, no purpose, and you perish so fast. Yeah, so that's another reason you need to develop your entrepreneurial skill in the side, not for the money, to engage yourself even after the retirement. Then you may want to do full time starting some venture. Our great Bob Proctor, he turned 85, and he still is going strong like 18-year-old kid when he speak from the platform. He basically, he doesn't want money to live his life. No, that is here the best way to pass the time on this planet. Not only passing the time, he's influencing millions and millions of people. So this is in the very short way, Kevin, that soon you realize we are going to face entrepreneurship is not going to be an option. You are forced to become an entrepreneur, and that is one way to so basically find your why. Because while working as an employee, find what you really love to do it, simple, and then start doing it, and now create the a process. That's how I come into the picture as a coach, this transition from employee to entrepreneur. So you be an employee, spend few years, develop, you find your passion, what you really love to do it, and you just start doing it, and become a really expert, and then start helping others in the same zone, and start charging for that. And soon you realize that, hey, I'm started getting around 50 to 75% my salary replaced already through my, and then you quit and you do full time and enjoy your life. Kevin, today 7.5 billion people around the globe, and almost 5 billion plus they're connected through social media and internet. There are many people say, Rakesh, I don't know what product and service to create. So there are tools, there are conferences, these three things: coaches, conferences, and courses. For everything, they are available. Hire the coach. Find out that what your product and service you can, develop. There are tools help you to find who wants these. And there are tools help you how to market. There are tools how to help, how to sell. So everything, technological advancements today made us so affordable to try anything. Simple writing a book. There was a time like 15 years back, 20 years back, go with the publishing houses and like so many gatekeepers, next to impossible. Now you can publish a book in 2 hours. Just go and record the audio and send to the, you know, fiber and all outsource. So what I'm trying to say today, being an entrepreneur is a fun and it brings the money. Why not? So yes, I will highly recommend. First of all, when you are an employee, then you have to compete with your peer group, and you have to basically your boss and so many meetings, so many politics, and on top of that, once you turn 50 or plus, now, and if you for some reason if you lose your job, all these new kids, like I mean young kids, 20, 25, they're more productive, and they three people can be had on your salary. So if you lose your job at the 50, it's not so easy to go back, because now it's changing so fast. Every software and every tool is being developed today to replace people. Yeah. So soon, as I said, being an entrepreneur is not going to be an option. Everybody kind of forced to be an entrepreneur, and today is all the technological advancement and these tools and the social media and internet made so many options available for us. And again, entrepreneurship is just not only to make money, no, to spend your time. Yeah, I will highly recommend a book reader, a 4 hours work a week by Tim Ferriss. If you can get hold of it, just read it. I don't agree everything with that book, but at least it will give an options that what is possible, and then you are free to choose your own way, what goes with your desire and with your comfort. Kevin.
If I were to ask you what's been maybe not the secret, but the one binding factor, the glue, the consistent thing that has driven you through this entire journey from growing up a self-described poor farm boy to retired financially at your 45th birthday to now living your dream of becoming a coach, mentor, and an inspirational speaker internationally. What's been that secret? What's that glue? What's that one consistent thing, that thread that runs through all of that and continues to burn inside of you?
Uh-huh. Good one. Uh, Kevin, again, in the beginning, I have nothing. So as the saying goes, if you have nothing, anything is possible. So in the beginning years, you know what? I compare myself or anybody who have nothing. I'm, the people who are really broke. So I compare with the rose flower and a pin. That pin, really pointed small pin, and we call it thorn. So I don't know if the people can read what the thorn is. The thorn is like a kind of the pin, and it's so between the rose and the pin, the thorn, the difference is the rose has a fear to fade away tomorrow. The rose is beautiful, but after a few days it's going to fade away and perish and die. But this thorn, this pin has no worry to fade away. It's just, it will not go less than that. It's already in their minimum stage. So like me, no money, nothing. So for me, anything comes as a bonus. So that was my thinking in the initial years till I was in India. And after that, when I left, now because of that thinking, I was just stretching. Nothing to lose, because many people, they don't want to take a risk, because what happened if their wealth is gone, their real estate gone, their whatever is built, if they get bankrupt. I have no fear about that. But when I started growing, and then I became so kind of the knowledgeable in terms of the kind of, I develop a feeling inside, Kevin, that hey, I can bring this all thing back again, because I created, I can create again. So when that confidence came, that what I thought, just stretch and go to the next level. What will happen? You will fail. And I made failure my friend, because every failure, what I learned, hey, at least I learn now up to this level. If I'm going to fail up to this level, I have know how to come about it. So all these failures are going to give you a confidence. So I develop one secret. for success, that every success is going to make you more insecure, and every failure is going to give you confidence. So this is what I learned from my life. Again, I will repeat. Every success is going to make you more insecure because you will feel, if what if I lose? So every success is going to make you more insecure, and every failure is going to give you a confidence. So the secret is fail as big as you can afford. That is the key to success. So for me, that was the secret. Just keep trying. Next level. Stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone on daily, weekly, yearly basis, and you will only grow. You will only grow. And I have grown so much because of that nature, that even if I fail, there are certain limit I cannot go below that. In case if I go, for instance, because success is not only the money. We have 6 pillars. That's my a coaching program deal with: health, wealth, family, social life, spirituality, and career. This is called the 6 pillars of life management system. So majority they relate success with the wealth, that is money. That is not the case. So in my case now, I have grown so much. If wealth money part falls, no problem. Other areas has gone so much, that will come. Even if that doesn't come, whatever the experience I have lived so far, nobody can take away from me. Anything comes is bonus for me. So as you asked the secret, this is the secret. Whatever I have lived, my reference point is that village. The growth I have gone in terms of all those 6 pillars, nobody can take away that experience. And this whole life is all about experience. Yeah, and is in our full control. We can control our happiness. We control our those dreadful days too, because we search those bad thoughts, those negative thoughts. No, we can think other way also. People say, oh my god, there is a unemployment in Canada now, it's almost 6%. Ladies and gentlemen, why you don't think that there is just 94% people who have a job, who have to focus on the 6%? So I think in a bit crazy way. When I came to Canada, Kevin, as I mentioned, English was my problem. So whenever I used to go to interviews, so I have this panicness. What if I don't get this job? So you know what I used to go? When I used to reach the office for the interview, I used to ask for the washroom, go to men's room, and in front of the mirror, I say loudly, Rakesh, you are not going to get this job. So if you have told yourself with the conviction that you are not going to get this job, go and give your interview with the full energy. Because what will happen? He's not going to penalize you. He will not give a job, which you have already agreed. And believe me, Kevin, hardly I fail any interview because of this thinking. And I used to talk very fast in interview because I wanted to hide my poor grammar and poor sentences. I used to talk very fast, and it worked. So what I'm saying, I'm not advising others do. I'm telling you how to deal with your fears.
There's one more thing I want to ask you about. And before we wrap up, well, there are a lot of things, but there's one more thing that I'm going to ask you to speak about. And you've set it up perfectly with what you've just shared. I've actually pulled up a photo over beside me. I've got a laptop just beside me. I don't know whether I can put it into the picture so that you can see. No, it's on a cord. Anyway, where I took a picture of you, I'll show you. At the Impossible Dreams Made Real event that we did a while back. So there it is on the screen. And what I took a picture of and what I'm asking you to talk about now is a quote from you that says, attaching to detachment will connect you to your true freedom.
Yeah.
I'll say that one more time, and then I'll ask you to speak on that. Just a few minutes to share about what that means to you. And I think it's a great place to leave people. Attaching to detachment will connect you to your true freedom.
Yes.
What else would you say and share about that?
Kevin, these days somehow not exactly fascinated, but I have attended a couple of these, the Buddhist monk events, and I see a lot of Canadians and worldwide, they start not following, but quite resonating with the teachings. And in the Buddhist teaching, one of the teaching is, two things I walk away. One thing is that this whole life is suffering, and the only way to go away to basically remove the suffering is detach yourself from attachment of the money. People get attached to, oh my God, I love this house, I love this car, nothing wrong into it, but don't attach too much that when the car is stolen or damaged, that, oh my God, I cannot sleep. No, it's just materialistic thing. Gone, so what? You can get other one. So attaching yourself to detachment will connect you your true freedom means is not to have these two words I will attach with this phrase: expectation and comparison. Don't expect anything from anybody, especially in our family matters. Because at the workplace, if you don't expect from your employees, you don't run the business. But most of the trouble, or you can say your depressed thoughts, or angry thoughts, or that uncomfort comes from your close family member or the friends. Majority of the time, exceptions always there. So don't expect from anybody. If you come home, why you expect that either your children or your wife to behave certain way? No. If they behave the way you want, that's fine. Take as a gift. If not, you have your own life. So that's what I meant. Most of the time, this attachment to money. Oh, I have 5 houses, 10 cars, and 20 million, all this materialistic wealth, and tomorrow for some reason if you gone bankrupt or been taken away, you are attached to so much, and that will become the cause of the worry. Same with the family member. Some family member, people come here, they will die, they will have diseases, people will born. I mean, so many changes will happen. Don't attach. Of course, we get so attached, and we feel sorry about them when they are gone. Like losing loved ones in one of the very, very uncomfort situation. But think about that. Tomorrow you are also going to go away. Just matter of time. So why not make a rule that we don't know where we are coming from, we don't know where we are going to. We came for 100 years or 120 years in the short span of time, like a drop in an ocean. So just live and do your best. And that's it. So don't attach yourself to anything. Sometimes, you remember about those teenager year in the school, we love some girl, and then suddenly girl become, the girlfriend to other boy, and then, because we attach ourselves to that girl, and people commit suicide. Why? Most of the suicidal cases happen. Why? Because of the attachment. Too much attachment to drug, too much attachment to relationship, too much attached to the money, too much attached to certain positions. No, these all are temporary. Whole thing is temporary. You don't know what evening is the last evening. So just live for the day. Why not? Just live for today. And Kevin, if you know how to handle your today, every coming day will become a today. And if you handle your today, you handle your whole life. Tomorrow never comes, but today every day comes. Past is gone, future has not achieved, but present, that's why it's called the present, is a gift. So live for the today. So come back, just detach yourself all those attachments. Looks like I'm like that what the religious gurus, but no, that is a fact. I learned very easily at very young age, and that has been one of the secret. I don't attach. If anything is gone. I earned that is from this world and being taken away. Now somebody else is enjoying. That's it. Many things like wealth, many possessions. Today I'm the owner. Yesterday it was belong to somebody else, and tomorrow it will belong to somebody else. So we are just like a temporary kind of a caretaker. So why do you take so seriously, Kevin?
I just absolutely love you. I adore you so much, Rakesh. I appreciate you. I'm so excited that we're going to be co-creating together again with this event coming up in front of us at the time that we're recording this. And we could talk for hours. We'll have many more discussions, I'm sure. But thank you for being exactly who you are and for the work that you're doing. And I wish you all the success that you desire, which is, I know, is helping others achieve as much of that for themselves as they can. So when I ask, or when I wish you success, I know I'm wishing good things upon the world. And I'm just really grateful that we've connected. And I want to thank you again so much for the time here today. It's really a pleasure. Thank you.
Kevin, I have not enough word to thank you and my new friend Kyle, and you both are having this wonderful event. I'm so excited. I met Kyle a few times, and Kyle is so supportive. He always try to support me to share my content all over. I'm so excited to meet you both and the London lovely audience. Now, many people I interact, I know them. As I said, London is like second home to for me. So London, your Slumdog Billionaire is coming to your city next Monday. See you there. You are. Thank you.
There he is, Coach Rakesh Mishra. Thank you, my friend. We'll be seeing him in person for those who are going to join us. The Awesome Mondays London Community Celebration mashup on December the 16th, 2019. You might be watching or listening to this at some point far into the future. Who knows? That's the funny thing about doing a podcast that starts with a live broadcast. The other thing is sometimes they don't go exactly the way that you want them to. And I realize we've had, for whatever reason, the program that we're using or something that is processing it so that there's clearly been a delay between what Rakesh and I are saying and our lips moving on screen. So if you're listening to the audio broadcast of this, of course, that's not bothering you at all, unless you're just imagining that in your mind. But if you've been trying to keep along on video, I realize that's distracting, and that's why I've got this message up here on the screen. Thank you for staying with us regardless. I highly encourage you to reach out to Rakesh at coachrakesh.com. That is coachrakesh.com, and you can find all kinds of different videos there of the stories that he mentioned of his life. You can also find, I believe it's episode 68 that Rakesh joined me for Journeys with the No Schedule Man, where he told the complete story or a much more complete version of the story of this whole journey from the village in India, what brought him to Cuba, what happened when he was there, what was the result after that. It's absolutely fascinating and absolutely true, and I highly encourage you to go and listen to that. And feel free to access the entire archive of podcast episodes. There are 96 of them now. They are completely free. They are available to you on demand 24/7. Put them on while you're driving the car, put them in your earbuds while you're taking out the garbage or making dinner or something. But there are all kinds of people like Rakesh that we can learn from through them sharing their journey and their triumphs and their challenges. Really valuable stuff. You can find those all at noscheduleman.com. You can also sign up to my free email list to be notified of future episodes. And keep in mind the Mindset and Marketing Mastermind community is there as well. And I encourage you to have a look at that and see if that would be a good fit for you to support you in your journey on the way forward. Thank you also to Connect One Consulting, Diamond and Gold Treasures, Susan DeLuke of Travel Agents in Action, Provincial Glass and Mirror, Trickett Financial, and to Mo Mondays London. And most of all, thank you for watching and listening. On behalf of Rakesh Mishra, I'm Kevin Bolmer. This is Journeys with the No Schedule Man. Thank you for investing some time in yourself and with us, and we'll see you next time.